So this has arrived with us this week at Greenfield Motor Company. This is the Mazda CX-60 Diesel. So yeah, we're excited that we've got a diesel, but I know lots of people in the world at the moment, diesel's a bit of a dirty word. It's something which you shouldn't speak about, and it's something which you definitely shouldn't buy. I've been told people are saying this, but I think the diesel's really important, and I think it's the best time ever, possibly, to be driving a diesel, because it makes for a really interesting case. Now, this is a 3.3 litre diesel engine in this car. You're saying, what? That's huge. Not only have you made a diesel engine, you made a huge one. And that's all part of Mazda's theory and their kind of approach to engines, which is their right-sizing concept. Now, I do have some notes on this because it does get a little bit technical at one point, but the right-sizing concept basically means they're not going to put a 1.5 litre petrol engine in this big heavy car. Even though it drives lovely and it's great, it is a big lump of metal, and a 1.5 litre engine isn't going to be right, because that's going to result in, you know, not very fuel efficient driving, and it's going to be underpowered. So this is what right sizing means. Right sizing means good power output, which it has, 3.3 litre inline 6 engine. Good fuel economy, which it has. You can get between 50 and 60 miles per gallon real world, because this arrived with us earlier this week, and some of my colleagues have been driving it, and that's what they've reported so far on gentle motorway driving. And it's got low emissions. Now you're saying, what? You're trying to tell me a diesel has low emissions? Well, it does, it really does. According to the jargon, the Mazda CX-60 has a piece of technology called selective catalytic reduction. I'm not going to pretend I know completely what that is. I have read up on it, but don't completely understand it. That's for the engineers. But what I do know is, the result of that technology, this is one of the cleanest diesel engines in the world. It has output of nitrogen oxide levels, which is the bad stuff. So, you know, CO2, nitrous oxide are the bad, nitrogen oxide are the bad things which cars put out to the world. Very close to the level a petrol engine would put out. So if you're thinking, oh, the diesel is so much worse than going for the petrol option, it's, in this case, with this clever technology, it really isn't from Mazda. Another fact about this diesel engine is it consumes less fuel when driving than the CX-5 diesel. Now, I'm frantically looking around behind me to see if we've got a CX-5. There's one just here on our forecourt, and you will notice that the CX-5's it's smaller, it's lighter, and it's a great car, but it can't tow 2.5 tons like this 3.3 litre diesel can. So that's why Mazda have made a diesel. You know, lots of people want electric cars at the moment. There's lots of options in the world, but I think at the moment the key to having a good range of cars is to have something for each part of the market. If you do lots of miles going up and down the country, then range anxiety and charging is going to be a real issue. If you live on the street and you don't have not on the street, if you live, your house is on the street, on the road, and you don't have the ability to plug in, then having an electric car is outside the realms of practicality, really. If you tow, an electric car isn't going to be appropriate. A plug-in hybrid isn't always, going to be appropriate if you don't have those charging facilities, which is why the 3.3 litre diesel engine is a really attractive offer. What we're going to do is we'll take a walk around it. I'll point some things out about it, but we'll take it for a drive and we'll see what it's like. One thing I do want to point out, we've spent a lot of time with the PHEV, and this is, the same spec, the same appearance as the PHEV. The only differences is on here, where it would usually say PHEV, it says inline 6. Now, what I'm going to do, with it being a Japanese car, I'm going to go around to the right-hand side. We're going to pop the bonnet, and I want to show you how refined and quiet this engine is. So what I'm going to do is going to pop the microphone off in a second, and what we'll do is we'll pop the bonnet. George, the cameraman's going to come over. Going to hold that. Let's start the engine. as you can see, and here, it's not a big, boisterous, noisy diesel engine. It's so quiet and so refined, and it's a 3.3 litre. So next stage next, let's take it for a drive and find out what it's like. So let's go for a drive in the Mazda CX-60 Diesel. This version we're driving today is the all-wheel drive version. It also comes as a two-wheel drive version, which has slightly less horsepower and torque. It's got an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and you'll be able to see in a minute just how smooth that is as we come around the corner here and go onto the main road and pick up some speed with the traffic. Otherwise in here, it is delightfully pleasant, as it is with the PHEV as well. This one has the optional, it's around £1,000 sunroof. Not that I'm trying to sell it to you, but it is absolutely lovely. We've just been saying, and George the cameraman and I, just how wonderful it is. It really brightens up the space. So I would recommend going for the panoramic sunroof. So let's gradually add some power until we get to 40, which is just a tad over there, which is the speed limit of the road, and let's take it up to 50. This is just, again, so smooth. I was a little bit worried when Mazda said they were making a diesel of just what that power delivery would look like, because this version has 550 newton meters of torque, which is an awful lot, and I was just concerned how the power was going to be put down when driving. But it's wonderful. This really is, honestly, this is a big step up in premium for Mazda. So if you are in the market for an Audi Q3, a Q5, a BMW X3, or even if you want to save some money on your monthly payments or overall list price of your Jaguar F-Pace, then I would totally recommend at least taking one of these for a drive. Again, we're doing a lot of stop-start driving here, so I'm not going to talk about the MPG in this instance because we're in slow-moving traffic. But you can expect between 50 and 60 MPG, which is wonderful. The size of the car. It's not lacking in power. The PHEV does have more horsepower than the diesel, but the diesel really does pick up nicely. It just comes down to personal choice, really. What do you prefer? Do you have the ability to charge at home? If you do, then the plug-in hybrid is perfect. If you don't have the ability to plug in at home, you do lots and lots of miles, or you tow and you like touring and going on holiday, then this is the option for you. It's fantastic. One thing I will say, if you're a company car driver, absolutely go for the PHEV, because the benefit in kind benefits are, completely outweigh the diesel with the PHEV. But as a personal retail car, the diesel's a fantastic option. So this is Mazda's all-new CX-60 Diesel, which you should definitely consider if you tow, if you do long journeys, or you're after a big car which does low emissions. Thank you.